You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show.
You know it. Here we go. Hell's Kitchen, Season 12. Just 7 chefs compete. Welcome to the #1 Hell's Kitchen After Show on the planet. My name is Leo Quinones, and it was a cliffhanger tonight. Things are getting crazy. Joy had a meltdown over her undercooked pork. Did she really need to? The first black jacket hangs in the balance. A Hell's Kitchen calendar cook-off, a $1,000 shopping spree, and those Hell's Kitchen toilets, they needed to be scrubbed. That's where we're at. So, with that said, I want to dive into tonight's episode and just dissect it like a body on a morgue slab. That's what we do here. Thank you for all the downloads on iTunes. I'm proud to say that we are climbing up. There's 60 AfterBuzz shows here. Whatever your favorite show is, 24, Penny Dreadful, you name it, there's an AfterBuzz iTunes feed, and we appreciate those great reviews, and we'll please keep those coming. They really mean a lot to us, so thanks again. So with that said, with 7 chefs competing, nobody went home tonight. It is a cliffhanger, so you know what? Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to a chef right now who's in competition, a full bar at the Driftwood, and everybody was screaming and yelling, "Get out! Piss off! Go home!" And to tell us all about it, the one, the only, Jason Zepaltas. Jason, thanks so much for returning on the Hell's Kitchen After Show, buddy.
Not a problem. Glad to be here.
Give me a 360 panoramic of where you are right this second.
Right this second?
Yep.
Okay, so the bar is way too loud for me to be in. So I'm actually out front sitting in my car right by the L train. So if you hear a train go by, don't worry about it.
We're not going to worry about it. So how was the vibe? Everybody watching you, just stick it out for another cool episode.
The vibe of the bar, I mean, it's always upbeat. Everyone's always having a good time. You know, everyone's always rooting for me. You know, as we're watching, I'm slowly like, ooh, I kind of remember, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't go too well here or there, but everyone's just in good spirits, having a good time. They're all here to, like, cheer me on and watch the show and just have a good time.
I love it. Let's go back to last week's, before we start about this week's episode. Jason, what is the blind taste test like in Hell's Kitchen?
The blind taste test, that was just sad for me. That sucked. I will say one thing. I mean, I know, like, there's no excuse for, like, how bad I did, but it was, like, early in the morning, and, like, I had allergies. I didn't have a chance to blow my nose, and it sucked. And I was like, what is this stuff? And also, the food that they gave us, I mean, it's obviously unseasoned. And if you saw it was, like, cut into, like, not your normal shapes that you'd be expecting when you would taste these foods. I remember seeing, like, the mango was, like, it looked like spaghetti squash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's other things, you know, it's just a little tricky, and it's fucked up. I mean, without seeing it, I mean, it really is. It's hard to differentiate some of these things.
Hey.
And it was sad that I was the worst.
Keisha said last week on this show that she was trying to peek and she was trying to hear. Is it tough to do?
Like the blind taste test?
Yeah, is it tough to see anything or hear anything?
Well, when we were doing it, like, for me, like, the headphones might have been distracting because it was just, like, heavy metal music that I loved.
Uh-huh.
And, like, everyone else was like, oh, God, this is terrible. They're like, you're going to love it. And I was like, oh, my God, this is nice. But then I was like, all right, I got to, like, make sure I have my head on, you know, I'm focused. And I tried, and I really thought that I'd be able to nail at least half of them. But the answers I gave was just, it was just humorous. I laughed at myself.
Do you feel silly just sitting there blindfolded with your mouth hanging open?
I felt very silly and odd with my mouth open, blindfolded, and being like tapped on the wrist when you just open your mouth and have like Chef Ramsay spoon feed you. It was very it was odd to say the least.
All right, well, let's talk about something good in last week's episode. Chef Ramsay, I don't know how many times he said this, could have been the best service in Hell's Kitchen's history on the blue team, and why do you think that is?
Well, we did our best to get like all our heads together and be on the same page. In my mind, though, it definitely could have been better than what it was. The fact that it was the best service so far, I don't really consider that any compliment, because we should have been doing a lot better to begin with.
Okay, well, let's catapult to this week's episode, the challenge, the budget challenge. It just seems like to get that many different people on the same page in a grocery store is tough. Take us through it. What happened?
I saw game there, and it was all everyone has their own ideas, and we're all trying to brainstorm, on the fly real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but it's once you actually your main part is your protein to check first,
mm-hmm.
and then see how much that costs. I mean, that's just what do we get? And we ended up going with a trout, which is not your most expensive fish by any means, but it's affordable and it's good. So we went with that. I also recall being in there running around the store and to make the budget was so tight.
Right.
Carrying the stems on the mushrooms and stuff, just pinching pennies wherever we could just to meet that budget.
Yeah, $34.61 out of $35 what you spent. So let's get to you in the kitchen. So you didn't actually pick out the hen then, and then you ended up having to cook it. And, of course, they showed you having trouble with the string. Now, was that just great editing to make you look like you were fumbling around, or did you have it handled?
I was pissed off when I saw that. Yeah, obviously, it's not a big deal. It's a smaller trim that you have to trust. Not a big deal. But, yes, they had to show that one point where it slides off one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not worried about that. One thing I was worried about is, obviously it being fully cooked, and then it was all right, what's the hottest thing that we have there? It's not a pan. It's actually the French flat top. So that's when you saw me, put it on there to do the finish of it.
Is that the half you used?
Yeah. And then, it disappointed me because after the fact, when my dish went up, that I didn't use the other half of it, which I should have, because obviously there would have been more money people would have paid for it.
Right.
But in my head at the time, I was thinking, it would have just been, a really overcrowded plate. And I was thinking there would have been, something you'd, find at, a buffet table that some guy just piled on his plate. So,
yeah.
I messed up, and, I should have used the whole bird.
Well, so what happened was the red team actually had the better average, dollar value average. I know you said you were upset, and you said, in the outside world, when I'm mad, I get to throw things. Do you, Jason Zepaltas, do you actually throw things, and what have you thrown?
No, I mean, ideally, that's what I'd like to do. When you get frustrated, you like to bring something, and I mean, no, I don't. I wish I could. I mean, there's been a very few times in my life where I was able to, and it felt wonderful. But I mean, it's the fact is, I messed up. I was gonna make it better. Doesn't matter my frustrations, how I meant it, whatever. Fact is, didn't go well.
All right. Well, this is an unglamorous question. Cleaning up the slop in the dorms. Was that the all-time low in your Hell's Kitchen tenure?
Wait, what was that? Cleaning the what?
The punishment. Cleaning up the dorm toilets. Was that the all-time low?
Yes. That was, obviously, yes. That's an all-time low. But at the same time, it's whatever. It'll be quick and easy. And then we don't live like animals, so it wasn't as bad as it was portrayed. It's obviously not good by any means. It's very demeaning. They enjoy it, but shit, I mean, it's whatever. It was better than tornadoing potatoes or picking up pennies.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, listen. So then you guys go up. You relax for a little while. Then you're called down for what I think is a unique challenge. I'm thinking it's going to be a dinner service, and then it's a challenge where you say, well, I'm not going to, I don't want to get ahead of myself, Jason. So what about when you walked out to the kitchen and then take it from there, the surprise that was in store for you guys?
To be honest, I don't even like really remember like that part of the show. Like I honestly, like I was too distracted to watch.
You know,
I just remember it being like crap.
Yeah, you know the part where the paparazzi and everybody was waiting for you seven chefs.
Yeah, that was retarded and stupid. The whole like thing of like the media thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was in my head. I'm like, all right, just sit here, smile, like whatever. But yeah, I just thought it was pretty stupid.
So the challenge was. From Gordon, there's a Hell's Kitchen calendar cook-off. There's 11 months featured, December, wide open. You had 3 chefs come check you out and do some rating for you. You had, actually, you had from Chef Hell's Kitchen 3, you had Rock, Hell's Kitchen 9, Paul Niedermeyer, and Hell's Kitchen 10, runner-up, Dana. So is it cool seeing them on set?
Well, I mean, to see like, you know, like people that in the past have like done well in the show or have won it, I mean, it's cool, you know, like to see them. But we've been nice to interact with them more, you know, like more time to see their feedback, so like to try and help us out on how to advance the show. Paul, I met before when I was on season 9, real briefly.
Right.
And,
right.
I never had a problem with him, but I guess he never really liked me, so. I don't know.
You know what, Jason?
It's just kind of butt heads.
I get the impression that you kind of wanted to kick his ass.
There are times when it appears that, yeah, I get really frustrated and angry, and, you know, if this is like, if the society was different, maybe I would, but I mean, it's like, he made it to where he is because of, like, how good he cooks, so I can't knock him for that. But, you know, it's just frustrating for me. On my end, and like the dish I put up didn't kind of like it was shitty because the pasta I had to use for the afterthought, and I was just like, God damn it!
Right.
And I don't blame them for knocking the dish. I know I think them shit on the show, but you know it is what it is, and I can't argue with it.
Right. You said before you made that dish, I'm going to cook my balls off, and 45 minutes. It seems like enough time, but is it really in Hell's Kitchen when you have 7 chefs making 7 different dishes? There's a lot of crossover, is there not?
Wait, 45 minutes, it should be plenty of time. It really should be. I mean, at this point, I mean, like, you know, like, we're really stressed out. Like, so there's, like, other things that are just starting to get to us. But, you know, we have to hold it together and, like, do the best that we can. And unfortunately, I mean, you know, there are mishaps that happen, and you know, like, and you saw that's what happened on the show. I mean, I like to think that we could have made things a lot better than they were, but what you see is what happens, so there's no changing it now.
All right. What about the state of the blue team? You have yourself, Rochelle, Melanie, and Gabriel. Where do you think the blue team is at right now? Cohesiveness? Give me an idea of what it's like in Hell's Kitchen right this second. All of us, actually.
Well, as of now, like, with us together, it's, you know, even if we got along, like, very well. But even if we hated each other, it wouldn't matter. We know at this point, it is, like, we have to work as one. As, like, one, like, solid unit, be, like, fluid, and to make sure everything gets done, like, as it should be. So, I was hoping, you know, like, that's how we keep working, and that's how we'll progress. The right team I saw tonight, you know, they have their own issues and stuff with, like, breakdowns and whatnot, but it's all just like part of like the whole task of being under pressure in the kitchen. You have to find ways to make things work.
Switching over a little bit, Jason, very top of this episode, you probably didn't hear it at the Driftwood Bar, but you commented that on the way up from the last time when Anton was, you know, meeting his demise, that you're finally glad to see him go. Do you still feel that way?
It's we both had, like, you know, like, our angry moments where, like, probably no one wanted to be around us, and, like, everyone hated us. And that's just kind of, like, the nature of, like, our personalities, and, you know, obviously, like, it should be like that, you know, and it's one of the things I've actually, like, worked on lately, so I'm a lot calmer. But he was a good guy. You know, I know a lot of people did not like him while we were on the show there, but he was solid. You know, some of the things, like, he put up were, you know, something I would do. But likewise, if someone smelled my throat, he said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a kitchen. You know, everyone has a strong ego and a big attitude, and yeah, it gets annoying at times, but you just gotta like overlook that eventually.
Well, look, it's down to Rochelle, Joy, Melanie, Scott, Keisha, Michael, Gabriel, and you. Who, at this point in the season, tell me about your strategy, and who do you want to see go next?
At this point in the show, I mean, who I want to see go next? Well, at first, I'd like to whittle down the red people, like Keisha. Sorry, Keisha, but yeah, I mean, you've had your time. Gabriel, like, he has a great heart, like, he's got a good fight now, but there's been a lot of mishaps, and that was obviously getting very frustrating to have him on our team. Rochelle, she got really lucky, had some, like, you know, great things happen for her that, like, turned out, and, you know, like, it goes to show you know, she's not, you know, a novice in the kitchen, but she was show, like, what she could do, and she did it well.
Right.
So, Melody, she's still, like, strong, too, and Joy, like, it's always, like, you know, someone, like, always look out for. I mean, like, Scott is always, I mean, everyone right now, it's like, we're getting whittled down where it's, you know, we all have something to bring to the table, something different, and that's why we're all still there.
So, who would you say outright is your biggest threat right now on the show, Jason?
The biggest threat, it would either be Joy or Scott.
Because in past episodes, you weren't really into Scott's cooking, so you think he's getting stronger in the second half of the season.
Well, I've had my issues on, like, how people, like, play their, you know, like, themselves and everything, and it gets annoying, and, but how I've seen some things progress, my attitude has changed, and it's, you know, and on the show, it's like, you know, you see us all in the heat of the moment and stuff, but, like, you know, a couple minutes later, you're like, you know, you're like, ooh, wait a minute, I gotta think about this and that now, too. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables.
Why do you think you're the best chef in Hell's Kitchen?
Well, you said that, and, you know, I'm not going to argue with it. But, I just, like, from my background, my talent, like my education, like, what I know, and, like, how to cook, and the things that I've done where, like, everyone consistently messes up, and I understand them for I've obviously had my times where, like, yeah, I would think a jackass idiot. But, I don't know, it's just, I feel that, like, I'm more capable and more talented than the chefs they have on there.
Cool. And how has Chef Ramsay made you a better chef?
Chef Ramsay, it's just been, he's just kind of, like, been there, like, made me a better chef by actually, like, maybe by, not even, like, it isn't just saying things, it's just, by him not yelling at me, I know I'm doing something right.
You know, you're right. You know, now that I think about it, on the line in the past episodes, I mean, we have 7 chefs left, so 13 went before you. I don't, you know, very rarely do I see him getting in your face. Does that mean, like you just said, no news is good news in Hell's Kitchen?
On the show, if Chef Ramsay was in your face, he's honestly fucking up. And, like, there's some times where he'll just, like, say something to me that's kind of, like, negative or whatever, but it's like, really? I'm right here. I have this. Everything's fine. It's just, you know, like, it's almost like they're like, you need to tell Jason to do something or, like, demean him so it looks even, or, I mean, I don't know how this thing goes down, but, I mean, I was like, I thought I was pretty strong. I mean, not the best. I mean, I had my times, but the few times I was watching the show where, like, he would say something to me, I was like, God damn it, I had it under control. It was fine.
All right. Well, listen, man, it's getting exciting. There's 7 chefs left, and we're in the middle of a cliffhanger right here. With that said, the evil pork master, and I think you have my favorite quote of the season. I do not
like that name. I don't know if I said it or they made you say whatever, like, God damn it, that's just embarrassing.
Well, didn't you say this? I think this might be my favorite quote of the season, and it's Jason Zepaltas. It's classic Jason. Here we go. I like to rock out with my crock pot out. Is that you?
That was something that I picked up like culinary school, and I just thought it was stupid and funny to say. And you were like, "Wait, what?" Like, oh, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. But it's funny, and yeah.
Well, listen, here's what you have to do. You have to get out of that car. You have to go back to Driftwood. You have to order up a nice slug of tequila, Casamigos if they have it, and you have to do a shot for me. Deal?
Rock and roll, brother. I would love to.
Well, listen, you being back on the show means a lot to me. I know it's getting down there. I know black jackets are on the way. Can you come back on the show, Jason? Please say yes.
Oh, anytime, yeah. I'd love to come back. You know, just let me know. Like, hopefully I'll have time. I mean, my work schedule is getting busier and busier lately.
And
the area that I work in, there's a lot of graduations of colleges, so we're just really busy. But if I can, I will.
And you have a big heart, along with Chef Rich Mancini. What are you doing this weekend, my man? Tell me about it.
Oh, this weekend, me and Rich, we're going to go to early in the morning in Montrose Beach, Montrose Harbor. It's called Pause Charity. It's for like rescue dogs and cats to raise money for their, you know, like their anti-cruelty work they're doing. So we're gonna be there to, like, you know, if anyone wants autograph stuff, you know, donate $1, whatever you got, you know, all those to charity. And then right after that, we're doing a race for the cure for the American Cancer Society. Another event where there's like dunk tanks, bands playing, like the whole 9 yards. You know, food, everything's there. Stuff for kids, stuff for adults, and it's again, it's just, you know, like to raise money, and all proceeds go straight to cancer. So it's cool. It's cool. It's a big thing, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Well, you know, you're using your fame in the best way possible, and I just want to say thank you for that, Jason. You're a big stud, man. You're a big stud. I mean, you come off a little, but deep down, I think you're just really a big teddy bear. Thanks for being on the Hell's Kitchen After Show, buddy.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, Jason. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Jason Zepaltas. Now, he is definitely in the running. What do I think? I'll get to predictions in just a minute, but right now, let me take a moment to say summer is right on top of us, and right here is what we need to talk about just for a second. Maria Menounos, the founder of AfterBuzz TV. You know, there's over 60 AfterBuzz show. Well, her and Kevin have put Kevin. This is not Kevin. This is all Maria. This is the Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. How I lost 40 pounds and kept it off, and how you can too. Okay, this is Maria before size 14, and now a size 2. So wherever books are sold, Maria Menounos, the Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. A very cool book, and makes a great gift for anybody who wants to keep the weight off. All right. With that said, I have predictions about what's going to happen on Hell's Kitchen next week. Here we go.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Now, I have them all in front of me. The 7 remaining chefs. Okay, so who is going to go home first? In my opinion, we have left Jason, Michael Gabriel, Keisha, Scott, Melanie, Joy, Rochelle. Well, I'll tell you something. Melanie's making it to the Black Jackets. Jason is making it to the Black Jackets. Rochelle's going to make it to the Black Jackets. Joy is going to make it to the Black Jackets. There's 3 left. Scott, Keisha, Michael Gabriel. The pressure. Because everyone's been on the show. Except you, Scott Cummings. We're coming after you next week. You don't want to be the only chef on Hell's Kitchen who hasn't been on our after show. It's disgraceful. You want to be ashamed of yourself. Come on, Scotty, we want you. I think Keisha has a big heart. She was on last week. I think Michael Gabriel has a big heart. He's a big snorer. I think Scott Cummings is coming into his own. That ending music, producer Steve, tells me I have to make a decision. Who do I think is going to possibly not make it all the way? It could be Keisha, Scott, or Chef Michael Gabriel. Those are my predictions. So with that said, you know, this has been another, you know, exclusive world, a peek inside the world of Hell's Kitchen, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you for downloading us on iTunes, and please email us to a friend. Any Hell's Kitchen fans, you can catch me on Twitter at Movie Interview. That's at Movie Interview. Check me out at movieinterview.com. Thanks, Roar, for the amazing duds. Thank you, producer Steve, Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and you, the Hell's Kitchen fan. Thank you for checking us out on YouTube and iTunes. My name's Leo Quinones. I'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.